Now on to something more fun. No sooner had Marty Walsh been elected Boston's next mayor this week than the press pounced, not on policy issues, but on his marital status. Would he marry his longtime girlfriend?
We did it! We did it!
When Marty Walsh won the Boston mayoral election, he gave a shout-out to Lori Higgins, who's poised to succeed Angela Menino as Boston's First Lady.
I'd like to especially thank my mother and my brother Johnny and the love of my life, Lori.
But unlike the Meninos, Walsh and Higgins aren't married. And for the Boston media, that's become a topic of intense interest. When NECN profiled Walsh, they led with the fact that he's still not hitched.
Marty Walsh may be a bachelor, but don't tell his longtime girlfriend that he doesn't have a family.
Other media outlets went further. The Boston Globe asked, so why aren't they married? Maybe that's just good old-fashioned journalistic curiosity, but it seems like some in the press don't approve. Cases in point, my WGBH colleagues Marjorie Egan.
If you become the mayor of the city, Marty Walsh, going to get married?
You know this? You better ask her that.
And Emily Rooney.
Any chance of getting married?
But now a backlash is brewing, with Globe columnist Yvonne Abraham tweeting, strongly endorse Marty Walsh's unmarriedness. What is it, 1950? Meanwhile, when the Globe tried to interview Higgins' friends, a Walsh spokeswoman had this request: stop harassing Lori.
You know, that was Adam Riley. We spoke to that spokesperson today, Kate Norton. She said, wait a second. I said that in a totally joking term. I said, oh, God, stop, Joe. And then she prints it as if it was like they were really, that thing was lit, and as Marjorie said, it was like the Pentagon Papers, this investigation into why they weren't married. But it was interesting. We had kind of this whole discussion in our little newsroom this week about whether it was the moral responsibility because he's going to be she's going to be the first lady of Boston, and should they be married? And then we started talking about other politicians like Michael Bloomberg, who's not married, Andrew Cuomo, who lives with the Food Network now.
Oh, John! Do you mind if I just listen? First of all, I scored an exclusive interview with Lori Higgins the other day at a Walsh event. I went up to her and I said, hi, how are you? And she said, oh, how are you? I said, I'm fine. How are you holding up? She said, well, it's grueling, but it's almost over. Isn't that riveting stuff?
I got that one, too.
Fascinating. She's a lovely lady. The fact that they're unmarried strikes me as a pretty much of a non-story in this day and age, as Yvonne Abraham pointed out. It started to become a little bit of a story during the campaign when John Connolly, I noticed, never missed a chance to cite his own lovely wife and 3 children and to whom he's married. And it seemed to me there was a little bit of an effort to establish the contrast, and there may well be voters for whom the Walsh non-marital status is an issue. I haven't seen any exit polling to demonstrate that, but, she's going to be the first lady of the city, I guess. And so it's a fair topic for interest, intense scrutiny. I don't think so.
Well, I think there's 2 different things. I totally agree with John on the issue of it does not matter whether or not they are married, and it is nobody's business, in my view. Then there's the other issue of, like, who is she, profiles of her. I think that's actually really fair game because when you share your life with somebody, it's inevitable, whether we're talking about Michelle Obama, we're talking about Melinda Gates, the power that person's going to have to influence the priorities is unquestionably real. I mean, obviously there's a spectrum, and it's really hard to tell, unless you're in somebody's relationship, how much they influence that other person. But understanding who she is, her priorities, what her issues are going to be, if she has any in particular, I think that's totally fair game. But their marital status, couldn't care less.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that we're probably going to be unanimous. I don't think anybody really cares about their marital status.
They do.
But, well, they care, but they care while understanding that it really isn't anybody's business.
But everybody's reporting on it.
It's interesting.
Is it just reporters that care?
No, I think it's interesting. People want to read about it. People want to watch about it on TV. It doesn't mean that people think that it's a serious issue or a moral issue or anything like that. It's 2013. I mean, this ceased to be an issue 20 years ago.
Well, I'm with Yvonne about this is not 1950, so they can do whatever. I think it makes us hipper as a town if you have the mayor.
God knows we need that.
but has the long-term stable girlfriend. I think that's great. And I'll be the first on record to say I am entirely nosy about her. I want to know everything because there's not much out there about her. I'm just totally rabidly nosy. But I also watched the Hallmark Channel for relaxation. So I'm one of those people. So it is none of my business. And if she says, I don't want to talk about it, I think it's great. And the thing that she has to do is to understand that she has to keep repeating that and repeating it. Because the minute she gives in, then everybody's on her like white on rice. So just don't say anything about your personal relationship. I think it's fine for her to be First Lady in whatever role she has to play, being unmarried to him, and I think it's great.
The Hallmark Channel, huh?
It's, everybody always ends up together on the Hallmark Channel.
Now I really want to take a nap.
So meanwhile, at the press conference this afternoon, while Marty was announcing his transition team and all these serious academics and John Barrows and Charlotte Goldrich and everything, the whole gaggle of press there, and the last question, going to Turks and Caicos here, are you bringing a ring?
Yeah.
Was that you?
No, it wasn't me. Larry Harmon in the Globe, the Globe op-ed writer, did a little interview with Walsh at one point in their campaign, and he says to him, would it kill you to marry her? Which I thought was maybe crossing the line.